The Nile Basin covers about a third of the Ethiopian landmass. This basin sits towards the northern parts of the country, right? This is where the famous River Nile originates from. It originates from this basin that is known as the Nile Basin. Now, when it rains, right, water collects at the mountains of Ethiopia and the highlands of Ethiopia, right? Now, in this basin, when the water flows from the mountain, right, towards an easterly direction, right, it flows towards Lake Tana, right? And then from Lake Tana, it flows towards Sudan, towards Khartoum, right? Now, this flow of water is basically known as the Blue Nile. Now, about 85% of the water that you find in the Nile, right, comes from particularly this river that is known as the Blue Nile, which originates from Lake Tana, right, after water has been collected in the rainfall in the Ethiopian mountains. Now, the second direction at which the water flows, right, but this time towards the west, right? Now, when it rains, right, water collects at the Ethiopian mountains, right? Then they flow towards the west, right, towards a river that is known as Tekedze River. Now, this river basically flows towards South Sudan, right, to contribute to the water of a river that is known as the White Nile, right? So the White Nile is formed from the water that flows down from the Ethiopian mountains, right, through the Teketsi River, right, uh, down to South Sudan, right, further down to Sudan, where it will meet with the Blue Nile in a place called Khartoum, which is the capital city of Sudan.